Mr. Speaker, when it comes to through the Speaker, CS, I want you to understand that when you look at H. pylori, when a woman goes to a hospital or a facility and she's having severe motion and stomach cramps and pain, and she needs to conduct tests, if she doesn't have NHIF or if she has NHIF, she is going to be asked for some money to conduct that test. The fact that she won't have the money to conduct the test, she will go home with untreated H. pylori. Now, at the moment, I've just checked with the public, with Mama Lucy Hospital, the drug is actually out of stock. But what I want to say is, if H. pylori is untreated, and the government doesn't take it seriously in terms of making sure that we do random testing of society and of the communities to see where it's prevalent and what treatments can be happen, like we treat any other ailment, what's going to happen? We're going to deal with a lot of ulcers and stomach cancers. There could be a correlation between the increase in cancers of the colon because of untreated H. pylori. So for me, I was trying to get a global picture on whether the Ministry of Health sees H. pylori and the resultant illnesses, if it's untreated, as an issue, and if we have any plans to go to the public and test. Because amongst my friends, about 2-3 months ago, almost 6 of us all had H. pylori at the same time. So I'm beginning to think that it's prevalent, and we need to make an assessment of what's going on in the grassroots. When it comes to NHIF and fistula, fistula for me is, even though it's not life-threatening, it actually reduces the dignity of the lives of the women who suffer from fistula. I know that Kenyatta National Hospital offers the fistula surgeries with NHIF. Majority of the women who suffer from fistula do not have NHIF, so they're actually out there suffering. And when it comes to making sure that everybody is covered by SHIF going forward, I want to make a suggestion, Mr. Speaker, a suggestion on innovative financing. Because right now, you have not been able to get every Kenyan to actually sign up for NHIF, even at 500 shillings per household per month. So when we go into SHIF, even if you're going to lower it and say it's X amount, I really believe that I agree with Mr. Honorable Madenge that getting them to pay it lump sum in the beginning would not work. I would like to take you to innovative financing through transactional tax. Maybe it would be easier for us to consider that, because that was used to raise money for vaccines by putting a tax on business class tickets and economy tickets by certain countries that came up, and that's why we get vaccines at a low price. So if you actually put an innovative tax of X%.
You are making a speech. Ask your question.
Yeah, but I just wanted to know whether the ministry was looking at innovative tax as an option to getting the people that cannot afford to pay lump sum to actually join SHIF through a tax on either their power bills or their mobile calls, because that's the way to make them actually not feel the burden and actually to loop everyone in to actually have the medical cover. Thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Minister, you hear the passion of the Nairobi women rep. You agree with her?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members. Honorable Pasaris is my friend, and on many occasions she has come to bring me ideas of what we need to do at different levels. The issue of out of stock of the drug for H. pylori at Mama Lucy, I think we have the drug at KEMSA. So then that is a supply chain issue between how stocks or products move from KEMSA to other facilities. But that can be looked at, and I will defer then the question to the governor of Nairobi, so that then they are able to explain the discrepancy, why the gap that we have the drugs at KEMSA, but they are not available at Mama Lucy. On the issue of fistula, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, one of the things that we need to do is to educate, because the most prevalent source of fistula is for young girls who get pregnant and their organs are not yet mature really to hold babies. That is how they end up then with fistula in most cases. So it's to empower girls, especially from the less privileged, so that then they can go to school, they can understand what are the repercussions of some of these things, and so that we get a sustainable solution to it. We also understand, Honorable Speaker and Honorable Members, that there are many factors to answer.
Hold, Minister. Yes, Esther, is there a problem?
Honorable Speaker, with due respect, During the time of the pandemic, we had over 300,000 girls that were defiled, all right, and became pregnant. So those girls actually, because safe abortion is not permitted, and we've not released the regulations and trained people on safe abortion, what happens is those girls are forced to actually have those children and end up with fistula. So we should actually not look at behavioral circumstances leading to fistula. A lot of the people that suffer from fistula today is from sexual gender-based violence, and young girls having fistula is because of rape and defilement. So we need to make sure that we provide fistula operations, or we provide safe abortions for the young girls who are 10, 11, 12 and cannot. And the only reason we cannot provide safe abortions right now is because we have not released the regulations of safe abortions, and yet abortion is permitted by law when the doctor sees that the patient should have safe abortion. So at the moment, I think it's wrong to assume that it is behavioral characteristics of a girl that leads to fistula. I know lots of women who have delivered and they have small passages and they still have fistula, and those who are probably in marriages. So the women that I'm dealing with right now that have fistula are married women, and it can come through surgical procedures gone wrong too, and inflammations through urinary UTIs.
You've made your point. Minister?
Honorable Speaker and honorable members, I do understand, being a woman, the passion of Honorable Esther Pasaris on this issue. But I want to confirm that as the ministry, we are guided by the Constitution. And thankfully, we are speaking in the House that is responsible for making the laws. So as it stands, abortion in Kenya is not allowed unless it is determined that the life of the mother and the child are at risk, and that has to be determined by a medical practitioner. So when that is amended, then the ministry will be able to take action based on that. But I want to thank Honorable Pasaris and invite her to my office so that we can have deeper conversations. Thank you, Honorable Speaker and members.
Last on this, Wamchomba. Member for Githunguri.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to ask question number 1010 to the Cabinet Secretary for Health. Could the Cabinet Secretary clarify whether the National Health Insurance Fund, that is NHIF, has ceased